everyone. You're welcome to the newspaper review. My name is William Sabule. If you're just seeing this video from whichever part of the world you're watching from, we're excited to have you join us here on the review where we go through headlines across newspapers around Nigeria and we get to talk about those headlines here on the program. We also love to have you join us in analyzing these headlines by dropping your comments and the reactions on the comment section, because that's how we do it here on the program. And to discuss these headlines with me is Victor Sioko. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. How was your weekend?
Smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Well, I had a very busy one, very busy one.
Sorry about that.
Yes, but then, of course, that's how life is. We handle these things as they come. All right, let's go straight to taking the headlines. Don't forget, follow us on all our platforms. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now by clicking on the subscribe button. And of course, turning on your notification, because that is how you will get notified when next we come up with another episode of this program. All right, the headlines today will begin with Daily Sun. Daily Sun for today, the 16th of May, 2023. And on Daily Sun here, we have as headline, U.S. slams visa ban on election riggers. U.S. slam visa ban on election riggers. Unveil their identities. Nigerians urge. You find that story on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We also see on the Daily Sun here, Khan sets agenda for Tinubu. Harps on federal character principle. IGP warns saboteurs, political elite against Scotland Tinubu's inauguration. You find story on page 4 and 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We also see here, 13 trillion naira spent on fuel subsidy in 16 years. Federal government speaking. And you find story on page 2 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Deliver on campaign promises or be sacked, Buhari tells governors. Says outcome of 2023 polls shows anybody can be booted out. That story is on page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Senate presidency, more senators oppose APC zoning. Yari lobbies senators elect. Page 8 is where details of that story is. Buhari orders hail Chebasi for placing Nigeria on global spotlight. Story on page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And lastly, I'll take this one. Court stops NYSC from publishing disclaimer on Enugu Governor-elect's discharge certificate. Page 27 is where details of that story is. Well, Victor, very interesting headlines here. Of course, Chebasi made it to the news again today because she ended her marathon cooking yesterday evening, making it 100 hours of cooking, and of course emerging as the newest world record holder for longest time of anybody cooking. Very interesting one, and we're happy about that feat achieved by that young lady.
But I'm worried.
You're worried?
Yeah.
About what?
The delay in announcing her by Guinness World Record, officially. Announcing her to have broken the record. I'm worried that up till now, we've not gotten any information, but we give them up to... I'm like giving an order. Well, yes, we hope that before the day ends, we should be able to hear that news. And already Nigerians are not patient. Nigerians have
already declared her.
Nigerians have gone online to say, see, Guinness Book of Records, if you guys don't release her name, I will cook you people for 100 hours. Oh, man.
And that has also made me wonder, what are the criteria, what are the processes involved in confirming people that go about trying to make these records? Because I want to believe that before she embarked on this journey, somehow they must have notified the organization and say, okay, well, I'm about to do this to break the record, because the lady from India already holds the record. So for somebody to say, okay, I want to go past that record, I'm sure the organization is already aware, and they should have at least, I don't know what their procedures are, but I'm thinking that they should have somebody on ground monitoring the activity from the very beginning to the end. But if now they're saying they will investigate, I wonder what that language means. Will investigate means that you people don't know whatever happened on ground, so you want to...
No, there are some things one also needs to put in consideration here. Especially, I have a big interest or huge interest in sports, and this is more like a sports game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you now be like, okay, before she started cooking, were they able to take her blood samples?
Okay, to check if she took any, sports enhancers and everything and all of that.
Yes. So those are things one needs to also check. And also, just like you said, there should be a representative out there to watch. I'll be surprised if there was none. Because mind you, those breaks that she was taking, who was there to monitor those breaks? Okay, and also check in detail. There are also other depth, let's say, information that might just be there that we, the public, might not also know, that they might also be checking about. Okay. Yeah. Also, I need to also make this clear. I watched the Tata London, the Indian lady that held or that still holds I will still give her her position. That still holds the record until our queen is announced. Yeah. Okay. So you find out that during her own time, she was sitting down. She had time to sit down and cook. She had the privilege to sit down and cook. Okay. Could it be that the rules has also changed? We also need to find out. Just maybe there are other areas of the rules that have changed that we do not know about. Because yes, for her to stand all through, but in 2019, this other lady sat, she had the privilege to sit down. Could it be that there were some changes that have been made? And sorry, I can be too analytical here, but I'm just trying to say, okay, we just need to also
some
give
of the
them
things we
time.
should bear in mind while we wait.
Yeah, we should also give them the time, knowing that we do not have the full details about this competition, the rules and its regulations.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. We should be patient while they do their investigation to actually confirm her, and that will also make her winning very authentic and very powerful. She's a very strong woman, I must say, to stand and be awake for 2 days at a stretch.
4 days.
4 days at a stretch. That's a lot. I don't know if I can be awake for 2 days at a stretch. I don't know. The last time I did that, while I went for a job and I was holding the cameras for 24 hours, I collapsed. I almost collapsed, black out and all of that. I felt ill. So, I mean, kudos to Hilda Bassi. She's done a great job. But aside that and away from that, we also have this very interesting headline here on the Daily Sun, which says, U.S. slams visa ban on election riggers. Unveil their identities, Nigerians urge. All right, that's a very interesting one. Finally, we see the international community coming out to say or fulfill some of the promises they made to, election violators, people that sponsor violence during election. And right now, the USA is already slamming visa ban on these individuals. What's your take generally on that?
Yeah,
story?
big ups to them. But journalists like us will be like, why didn't you release the names so that we can also scrutinize and also see some names that we never knew.
If they are going to work their way out, block things.
Yes, especially we have somebody like MC Oluomo.
If he's not on that list, then it will be questioned.
Yes, and we'll be watching closely, even if they don't release the list. Mind you, MC Oluomo has family over there in the US. Let's watch the next couple of years to see. And I don't know how long this ban is. I've not checked whether it's 10-year ban. I'm not sure it's a lifetime ban. And even in lifetime, it should have made the front page. But I'm also trying to also talk about the candidate or the president-elect. Did he make the ban? one might be like, why am I saying this? Because from what I read, they made mention that those politicians that induced tension, those politicians that threatened voters, those politicians that incited violence, okay, that they were captured and they were banned. Why am I asking this question whether the president-elect made this list of banned politicians? Reason, remember the video that was released where he incited, mobilized his men in that room that
by force.
That they should take this by force, okay? That election season or politics is not something you take. Come on, you got it all right, man. So for the fact that you should take it by force,
run with it,
okay? So
snatch it. Those were his words.
Yes. But mind you, lawyers will also
interpret it in another way.
Yes, synonyms that will settle all these all these phrases that he used, okay? But yes, the layman English, primarily, and with the expressions that he showed in that video, one will see that, see, this was not just a soft word. He was telling them, see, you guys need to go hard. And at the end of the day, we've seen what happened. We saw the reactions in Lagos in particular. And I will be disappointed. One might be like, who are you? What the heck is wrong with this guy? But I will be disappointed because the U.S. should, he who comes to equity should come with clean hands. The U.S., since they are coming out with a comprehensive list, I believe, they should make sure that it should capture everybody, be you Tom, Dick, or Harry.
Yeah, well, we're watching. I really wish they would publish these names so that Nigerians and people that are also thinking of touring this part would desist from doing so. But we're watching. I don't know if they will end up publishing it. This is just the US. We're also waiting to hear from the UK and other countries that said they were going to ban politicians if they go ahead to incite violence during the 2023 general elections, which we saw widespread violence in most states, especially in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and some other big cities around Nigeria. But let's move on away from that story. Let's see what the headlines on other newspapers look like. And we're going to the Leadership newspaper. And we have as headline here from the top, it says, I almost gave up 6 hours into contest. Hilda Bassi. She's a product of resilience, hard work, family. Speaking there, I give God all the glory, says excited mom. PMB, Osubanjo, others celebrate as Chef Bassi hits 100 hours, makes Guinness World Record. Fine story on page 7 of the Leadership newspaper. Also on the Leadership here, we have this headline, 13 days to go. Threat to inauguration, perpetrators won't be spared. Inspector General of Police speaking there. See the main headline here, says, avoid debts, pay salaries or fail. Okonjo Iweala tells governors. Avoid debts, pay salaries or fail. Okonjo Iweala tells governors. Perform or be voted out, PMB tells governors-elect. Let your successors be. Seraki Aliyu Dankwambo cautions. All of that details is on page 4 of the Leadership newspaper. We also see here as headline, resident doctors declare 5-day nationwide strike. Page 12 is where you find details. Also on the news here, we have insecurity, food scarcity raise inflation to 22.22%. Insecurity, food scarcity raise inflation to 22.22%. Page 24 is where you get details of that story. Last article is one, federal government keeps mum as U.S. imposes visa ban on electoral offenders. Page 4 is where you get details. All right, this story, the one about avoid debts, pay salaries, or fail. Okonjo Iweala advising governors. What do you make out of that story?
So it is time. It is time, just about 13 days before the new governors and our leaders will hit the ground running. And yes, they were in their, well, I call it an induction, where they were receiving some trainings. And yeah, smart speakers that they brought their way. In fact, even one of the significant part of this meeting is that aside Okonjo Iweala and the likes, they were able to bring in governors, former governors, that were able to speak and also advise them that, see, we experienced this. Okay, make sure you close up these loopholes. These are the challenges that you will face. Okay, so going back to Ngozi Okonjo Iweala, she has made it all clear. You need to pay salaries. You need to pay your pensioners. You need to invest in your health workers. These are the prerequisites for you to have a good 4 years or 8 years. Aside,
and then the support too.
Come again?
The support of the people too.
And yes, by the time you start, Mr. Serial, by the time you pay salaries, by the time you make sure that welfare of the people and your workers are in check. See, if you like, build airports, they don't give a damn. What people are after is, are you paying that? That's more money. Are you paying those salaries? Are you paying your pensioners? Okay? So she has made it all clear. And I've also told them, see, this collecting of loans and loans upon loans, you need to watch on your debt profile. You need to scrutinize them very well. And come to think of it, this is my own 2 cents. Why would a governor, you come in with all energy, with all promises, with all, you have an idea, you have this idea, you have that idea. At the end of the day, IGR, internally generated revenue, you cannot even,
nothing comes
nothing
out.
will come out, nothing. You are just waiting for federal allocation. Every month you send in your commissioner of finance. Go and come back with money. You lack ideas, and at the end of the day, you will come out like some of these governors now, coming out to tell people, look at what I've done. I really worked. At the end of the day, we know that these are just mere lies. You are just concocting facts and fake figures, just trying to make sure you have a good faith. Because at the end of the day, very soon you are going to turn to an ordinary Nigerian out there on the streets.
Sure.
So, even the governor of former governor of Niger State was there, and he was like, "See, I'm now an ordinary man on the street. You need to make sure that you serve the people, because at the end of the day, it is the people that you will come back to."
Yeah.
He also even made a very valid point. If a governor will say that many of us here, we are not the smartest, that means that we were not the brightest. The people did not vote us in because we were the brightest in school. Some of us were even in last 3.
Third class
in school.
And all of that, yeah.
But we were given this opportunity. Please, while leaving, leave the position for your successor. Don't be there and be acting like a teacher or a professor for your successor. Leave your successor alone to lead the people. You know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Very true, very true. And then we've seen these things play out time and time again. So it's a very laudable thing for the government to be, encouraging incoming governors to change their style of operations, their modus operandi, change it, because states needs to be more productive, as it were. We've seen it happen before. Case in study is Anambra State, where very tough economy, but it was able to work for Anambrians, and of course we hear it every time in the mouth of Peter Obi say, "I ran the state to the point where I left something for my successor to run with." We want to hear same stories, spoken of many or different states around Nigeria. I mean, we should drop the old status quo. Let's begin to change things. Now we have new crop of governors coming in, and we are hoping that they will, act differently. And so this advice is really, really key at this time, and we're hoping that they will lash onto it and, try to do something different, because the workforce, as it were, for me, is the major drivers of the economy. And if you don't treat them nicely, I wonder what else you're trying to do. All right, so that's it. Thank you so much, Victor. We're going to go on a short break right now. Once we come back, we'll take our last paper for the day here on the News Super Review. You stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey there. Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Come back from that break, and want to thank you so much for staying with us. I hope you have already subscribed to this channel. If you haven't, please don't forget to do that right now, and also turn on your notification. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Look for us on all of these platforms. We are Tap TV on Facebook, Tap TV _NG on Instagram, and of course Tap TV NG on Twitter. All right, so connect with us on all of those platforms. Let's go ahead and see what the last paper we're taking today looks like, and that will be Daily Trust for today, the 16th of May 2023. And on Daily Trust here we have as headline, Buhari to governors elect, deliver on campaign promises or be voted out. Resident doctors to begin 5-day warning strike tomorrow. That is another matter on ground, Victor. And so we are seeing these strikes beginning to warm up again. We've also seen ASU sometime 2 or 3 weeks ago saying something similar to this. Now, resident doctors are going back to striking again. we hope that this government is not going to be like the last one. So much drama. And let them begin to also plan to deal with these issues one after the other, especially these ones that are really directed to life in question. Doctors, they're always striking. All right, we'll carry on with other headlines here on the Daily Trust. We say inflation hits 22.2% in April, despite monetary tightening. You find story on page 23 of the Daily Trust newspaper. The main headline here says, NNPC to resume oil search in Lake Chad next week. Kyari opens shares for public next year. Oil gas pipeline to connect over 11 countries. Europe. Page 4 is where you get details of all of that. All right, we also see here, Northwest deserves Senate presidency. Abdulaziz Yari, Alaji Abdulaziz Yari speaking there. He says Northwest deserves Senate presidency. All right, let's start with that story. We've seen the battle for the leadership of the Senate go on and on and on, and it's almost over, but not yet. And this time we see Yari almost getting, standing up as the, most preferred and as the #1 man. And right here he's saying Northwest deserves Senate presidency. What do you make of all of this?
Okay, his points, those are his points, but yes, like he said, he granted an interview, and like he said that the position of the Senate does not, religion does not have its cause or dwellings, has no factor to play when it comes to this position, okay? But federal character can be applied. Okay, so, so mind you, some Nigerians are already agitating what is wrong with these Muslims, in quote, especially Christians, okay? So they're like, the president-elect, Muslim.
Vice President.
Vice President-elect, Muslim. What's his name? Senate President. If they want to take it to the north, northern Muslim, it will be another Muslim. The Speaker, Muslim. Chief Judge, Muslim. They like, come to think of, come. This is Nigeria. This is not an Islamic country. Okay. So, but yes, he has countered all that, saying that, see, that does not matter. That what matters by the Constitution is federal character. But then I asked the question, had it been all these host positions were Christians all through, would there be backlash? There will be backlash. Okay, so like I'm always saying, politics is a game of interest. These guys, yes, they might be blowing fire. You might not even know that deep inside their hearts there are other sub-positions that they are looking out for. They just want to make a point. They just don't want to show their face. Okay, yeah, he might. I don't know if he watches some content like this, he'll be like, who is making this comment? I want to become the Senate president. We know these politicians, okay? But at the end of the day, he also made a very valid point, though, that something needs to be given to the Northwest. He's from Zamfara State, so he is saying that, see, for the fact that Tinubu won by numbers, by head-to-head, he won highest in Northwest. One might be like, but he had more margin, more percentage in Southwest. Yes, he dusted other candidates in his Southwest. But by the numbers, in Southwest, he scored about 2.5 million. But in Northwest, he got 2.6 million. Okay. And when you gather those numbers, it's found out that, see, he really, in quote, got some other. But we still know that the election data, I'm sorry, but to people out there, you know that the election data, I cannot say that it is the true reflection of Nigerians, of people that went out there to look at the report from BBC just yesterday, stating the obvious, that Rivers State was highly rigged. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, but we'll have to play with these numbers. These are the numbers that we have thought, so we need to talk about them. So, he is saying that, see, that sending this zoning this Senate presidency to the South-South does not make a point because the Northwest canvassed and really voted for Tinubu. And the best way for Tinubu to show appreciation is to give them the Senate presidency.
Very interesting one. And we're just watching all of that play out too. We're hoping that they will find a balance, a proper balance that will not create a lot of controversies. Yes, he's right when he says it has nothing to do with religion and all of that. It's about competence and, of course, federal character and all of that. Yes, competence, but then again, we will never be able to remove the religious factor from politics here in Nigeria, because it's not us that created that or made it a kind of relevant, criteria in choosing political leaders in this country. The politicians themselves, grew this into being. So now when he wants to play out, they try to shove it off. That's how they do it. They are very selfish people, so they try to manipulate these factors to, always play out the way they like or the way to favor them. And now again, we see all of that playing out. But then they think of it. We have a president as a Muslim, and every other major or key offices within the highest level as Muslims. All of that is something that they should also look at. But going by the Constitution, all of that will not matter. It will be federal character, as it were, playing out and following the actual constitutional requirements. All right, that's all we'll be taking today on our newspaper review. I want to thank you so much for staying with us, and also to my guest, Victor, thank you for always coming through.
Thank you, sir.
And to our viewers, you guys are the real VIPs. Thank you for staying with us all through this time. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for another episode of the newspaper review right here on TAP TV. My name is William Sabule, and this has been the review on TAP TV.